Is this actually live on the internet?
On the interweb.
Wow. Mark Ramey. Mark Ramey is a talent on loan from God. I want to let you know that, okay?
You're kind.
Out of today's masterclass, we had about 30 people show up, hungry for knowledge, wanting to hear from someone that is not only further down the road in their journey, but someone who is humble and willing to give and share. And what motivates you to do that? Seriously.
What I've become aware of is, it's kind of like what I talked about today in the listing at the beginning of what I said. There was a time when I discovered that I was looking at people for what I could get from them versus how I could serve them at a higher level. And even though I was doing high levels of production, I wasn't fulfilled. And when my coach asked me, what is your intention, Mark, when you're working with clients? Is it to take or to give? Is it to seek, to understand, or is it to be right? Those were hard questions for me to answer. And when I started to see where if I could shift internally what my experience was, then all of a sudden it reflected out in the world.
Yes.
So coming from a servant's place is just filling me up.
So if you give positive, if you're only there to give, not take, positive things are going to happen.
One of my most interesting mentors, he's a mentor of mine through books. John Maxwell said.
John Maxwell?
Yeah, he said one time, he said, you know, with all the information and all the knowledge that you've learned from me today, to his student, he said, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to be a river or are you going to be a reservoir? Think about that.
Wow, that is really cool.
If I'm a reservoir, I'm hoarding.
Right.
I'm coming from a place of fear.
Yes.
I don't have enough.
Yeah.
If I'm a river, it's flowing through me.
Right.
And more comes, and more comes, and as it pours out to everyone else, that's when life is interesting.
And you know, I appreciate you because, you know, they say your network is your net worth. And I like to surround myself with people that are more talented than I. Because, you know, I barely graduated high school. We make a very professional amount of money on a yearly basis. And not to put down other professions, we didn't go through school for years of university, what have you. We came to events like this and seeked out higher knowledge from people that were further down the journey than us, and from people that were willing to share their success and were willing to mentor. Is that something that you're willing to give to other agents?
Absolutely. When I started in the industry, what I learned is that success breeds success. In other words, people that truly want to be successful, they're willing to share that with others. And if not, those people become stagnant. And one question, or one, not question, but statement I've heard before is, you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No.
So always seek out people that are smarter than you,
Right.
because that's how we would learn and grow.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, a talent on loan from God, Mr. Mark Ramey. So I'm here with Omar. He's an awesome agent here in the Dr. Phillips area. And what I love about Omar is he always has an amazing attitude. Nothing stops this person. We did a transaction together. He worked so hard for his clients. And he's come today to Mastering Your Listing Presentation class. What one thing will you be taking from this into your business?
As I'm starting to transition from a buyer's agent to a listing specialist, which is better, I'm finding his approach of keeping it conversational, showing the sellers, kind of leading them to where they decide and they control the conversation, asking more questions, and being okay with that uncomfortable silence, you know, at the end, where they make that decision. And kind of reminding them of the motivation on why they're selling in the first place. I think that strategy will help me win more listings and do better in my business.
What would you say to someone that was considering coming to an event like this?
Iron sharpens iron, diamond sharpens diamond. I mean, you want to be with people that are role-playing and getting after it every single day, matching that energy, getting after it, because it's so easy to get negative, it's so easy to get lazy in our business. So you want to be around minds that are sharp, that are just sharpening you every day to be the best agent you can be.
Would you come to another one of these events?
Oh, absolutely.
This is no word to describe it. Early builders. Oh my gosh, you guys know what you're doing. You don't have to talk. Let me do it for you because he talk enough. If you've never been one of these events, and this is private, and a little bit about 20 to 25, do it. Come over. I've been doing this for a long time. This man with this beautiful face, he's know what he's talking. He's been doing this for a long time. And whoever knows his record, they know. So the same like I've been doing this for a while, I know he's not full of crap and the system work.
So I'm here with Elizabetha. She's an amazing human being and a great agent from Miami, Florida. She drove all the way to Orlando so that we could learn together today. And what did we learn today?
We did learn the listing presentation, and it did show us a lot of great things where we navigate our clients instead of telling them what to do.
We guide them, right?
We guide them, exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to us coming from a place of, I know all this. What will you take from this experience back into your business?
Oh, a lot. I would really work on taking it all in, and I would probably rewatch the YouTube video.
Yep.
Hopefully there is one.
We're gonna be on YouTube.
About 5 to 7 times.
Yep.
To actually get it in my brain, because like we need to close at least 7 times in order for them to sign.
That's right. And this is coming from a person that knows skills pay the bills. Lianne, how many years are you in real estate?
I am now 5.5 years in real estate.
At one time, Lianne was the transaction coordinator for my team.
Yep.
And she picked up, and in the 5 years that she's been doing it, you've been doing like what? In GCI, like 3 to 350? It's kind of bouncing in between.
My GCI, especially for the past year, my GCI was actually close to 300,000.
In a market that's down, we have the privilege of standing with someone that really, really knows what she's doing in this industry. You attended the listing presentation class. Tell me, what did you love most about what we learned today?
I love the fact that you were putting everything in the ball in the seller's court for everything. You weren't even giving them your opinion of the market, what's going on in the neighborhood. I thought that was fantastic. You weren't putting this like, I'm the realtor, I know what I'm talking about. I thought that was great. You were making it more personal, also about knowing and pre-qualifying them, of knowing their history. What do they want to accomplish? What is their motivation? Because I think that's so important right now that we have to remember.
What would you say to someone that is considering coming to an event like this?
Take your notes, listen to these professionals that are coming in and guiding you in the right direction as yourself. You've always been number one in serving us agents.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
And I think most importantly is seek the advice from top producing agents like yourselves.
What are you aspiring to in your business? What's important to you in your business?
Since I started, I would like to find a brokerage that give me support, education, a lot of things that I can use, in the future.
So that you grow.
That I can grow.
What did you love most about this event today?
The dedication, the patience that you explain everything, and the way you had to talk with the client, and the way that you can get the deal. You can close the transaction when you go to a presentation. Things that I'm looking for a company, that teach me how can I do, in my case, that I'm beginning, trying to grow in everything.
Someone asked me, Dave, you're in the music business, and I found out tonight that you started in music singing years ago too. We're both trained singers way back in the day. And as a tribute rock and roll artist, I often do shows at, say, House of Blues, 2,400 people. It sells out, people around the corner to come see my tribute band.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. And so someone asked me here today, Dave, what do you feel is more fulfilling? Doing a sold out rock and roll show or presenting and helping agents do more deals and help them improve their lives and their bottom line? So 2,400 people at a sold out rock and roll show or 30 people at an event like this, which is more fulfilling? It's tempting, I said, didn't I?
Yeah.
I would prefer the 30 people because at the end of the rock and roll show, people just want to, take a picture with me.
Will you ever see them
and buy
again?
me a drink? No, maybe I would see him at another show down the road. I'll see him on Facebook. It's a fleeting thing. We're here, we're educating, and we're delivering value to people to ultimately, if they choose to, if they choose to take our message and buy into it, and if they choose to actually do the work to improve themselves by aligning themselves with people like ourselves who are further down the journey than they are, for the 30 people to present to versus doing a rock and roll show in front of 2,400 people.
And I can relate with that, because here's what's interesting. There's so many people that were here today that were just starting off. And I looked him in the eye and I said, you inspire me. Because if you think about it, if someone is brand new and they're willing to come and put the time, the hardest decision, the hardest work is what they're doing. It's not what we're doing.
Because they have to start from scratch,
and they have
from
to make,
zero.
Yeah, and they have to make the choice.
Yes.
To be willing to grow each and every day. When you get out of bed, you have to make the choice.
Yes.
I'm just here for 45 minutes. We poured into them. Now they still have to make that choice.
Yes.
And then when I watch those people go and take off and do great things, then it comes back and we're inspired.
Yes. And we all have choices in life, and in our business, there's so many shiny objects out there. But here, working with us, collaborating with us, allowing us to pour into others, if they're just open to making change in their life, if they're willing to get outside of their comfort zone,
we can connect them. They can have proximity to the people that are going to get them on the fast track to getting the results that they're looking for.
Correct. And it's not going to happen overnight either.
And that's no. So.
Mark, Ramey, let's commit to this.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Appreciate it, Dave.
All right.
Let's go, let's grow. But I believe that you can also do it in half the time, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret about myself. I've had it made clear to me that the money in this industry is in selling the service. Then shouldn't I spend all of my time learning how to sell that service? Oh, please, 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 could I get this listing? That's not how this happens. And if you want an entertaining evening, get yourself a bottle, go home with your significant other, and listen to that presentation.